It's time for Orchard Skills. Back in October 2012, Microsoft launched the first system-on-chip ARM architecture implementations with the release of Windows RT operating system and devices. The first Windows RT device used the NVIDIA Tegra 3 T30 quad-core 1.3 GHz Cortex-A9, which was an ARM version 7 32-bit CPU, a ULP ultra-low power GeForce 12 core GPU with 8 pixel and 4 vertex shaders, and 2 GB of RAM. Unfortunately, less than a year after its release, Windows RT was discontinued, largely blamed on poor sales on ARM-based devices. Years later, Microsoft launched Windows 10 on ARM in late 2017. With over 8 years of ARM development, this month, on December 10th, 2020, Microsoft surprisingly launched the first preview of the x64 emulation for ARM64 devices. This means you can run an Intel x64-based Windows application on an ARM64 device. Today on Orchard Skills, we'll be utilizing our Raspberry Pi 4 to create an Orchard Core Windows 10 Internet of Things development environment using this x64 emulation. We'll utilize the open source project Windows on Raspberry Pi to install a Windows 10 Insider's build on the Raspberry Pi. Please stay with us and we'll get started. Welcome back. So let's get started. So let's head on over to the Orchard Skills GitHub site, and that's located at github.com/orchardskills/orchardskills.orchardcore.windows on Raspberry Pi. And here you can see in the readme.markdown file, we have instructions on how to basically create an install for Windows 10 on Raspberry Pi. So the first thing we'd want to do here is to head on over to 7-zip.org/download.html, and this is the 7-zip download page. And let's click on the second link here, download 64-bit version, and you'll notice that it gets downloaded here in the link. Once it's downloaded, go ahead and click on it, hit yes, and then we just go ahead and say install. And that's it. It's all installed. Go ahead and hit close. Next, we want to head on over to Windows on Raspberry Pi, and that's located at worproject.ml. Click on download the latest version. Okay, and that brings us to another link, and we'll go ahead and download version 2.01. And you'll notice that it's downloading. When that's complete, click on it and go to show in folders, and you'll notice you can see it here. And since now we have 7-zip installed, you can right click on it and go to 7-zip and just say extract WOR release 2.0.1, and that's it. Now it's located here, you can see, and there's the executable. We will utilize this utility later. Next, we want to head on over to uup.rg-adguard.net. This is where we're going to download a script to create the Windows 10 ARM64 image. So let's click on that. Select the type, which will be the Insider build. Select the Windows 10 Insider pre-release, the ARM version. Language, select US, English US. Let's select the professional version and select download ISO compiler in one click. Okay, great. And now you can see there's a link here. You click on that and that will download your file. And let's click on that and show in folders. And let's click on the download, right click on it and say new folder. Click on a new folder, and let's call this WOR-IMG. Okay, let's take this image here and copy it in there. Okay, now we have that located there. So now let's click on that, right click, and run as administrator, and then click on the more info, and click on run anyway. Click on yes, and you'll notice here that it's starting to create the image. This will take a while, so once it's done, we'll get the message, press any key to exit. Press the key to exit, and you'll notice here in our directory here that we have an image file. So now let's right-click on the image, go into 7-zip, and select Open Archive, and this will open up the archive. And so next we want to do is go to Sources, and inside here, you'll see that we have a install.wim. And so let's click on back to our downloads and let's create another directory. Right click on downloads, select new folder, and let's call this Win10-WIM. Okay, let's open up that folder. And now what we're going to do is we're going to extract this file from the archive. And to do that, all we need to do is click on the file and drag and drop it into your folder, and that will extract it there. Next, we need to install the Nt Lite utility. So let's head on over to ntlite.com/download, and you'll notice that it has a 64-bit version. Let's click on that link, and that will download the version. Once that's downloaded, let's go ahead and click on that. Click yes. This brings up a dialog to install Nt Lite. So let's click on I accept the agreement, click on next, and click on next, and then click on finish. Okay, great. Now we want to go to the Windows on Raspberry Discord, and you'll notice that they have an Nt Lite download section here, and what you want to do is click on Neo 3.0 RAR, and once you do that, download the file. And here what you want to do is right click and go into 7-zip and then extract to Neon 3.0 directory, and there you go, you got the Neo directory here. And here are some files that we'll need later for the Nt Lite utility. And there's a link to the Windows on Raspberry Discord in the readme.markdown file. Okay, here we're back at the Nt Lite utility, and you'll notice here it comes up with a dialog asking for license information. So make sure you have the free, limited, non-commercial license selected, and then hit OK. So now what we're going to do is we're going to click on add and then select image file WIM. And let's go to our downloads directory here. And here's our Windows 10 WIM. And we'll select that file and then click on open. And then it says selected source is an isolated image. Thus create ISO functionality will be disabled. And just go ahead and click on OK. Now let's go up here and click on the actual Win 10 Pro, and you'll notice that the load function is highlighted here, and let's click on that, and now it's loading/mounting the file, and this will take a while. So everything is loaded now, and detected unsupported Windows version. This program supported Windows 10. Just hit OK. All right, everything is all loaded, and you notice we have a green LED image to the left of the file there. So now what we're going to do is click on import and go to downloads. Let's go into our Neon and click on XML file 0.3.0.xml and click open, and then go ahead and click OK. So now let's go ahead and click on registry and click on the raw file here, and let's click in the registry directory, select all these files, and go ahead and just drag them on here. Okay, great. Click on apply, and then go ahead and click on process, and then click on yes, and then click on yes. And this will take a while. Okay, once it's completed, it'll give you a completed message here. Just go ahead and click on OK, and then we can go ahead and exit Nt Lite. Now let's go to the Win10-WIM directory here, and let's right click on the install.win and click on 7-zip and open archive. Okay, great. We have the archive open. So the first thing we want to do is go into the Windows directory, and let's go ahead and delete the cursors directory. So click on cursors, right click, and click on delete, and hit OK. Okay, that's deleted. So now we want to bring over our other directory here, which is our replacement files in our Neo _3.0 directory, and let's just take this here and copy it into the Windows directory here and ask, are you sure? And you'll say yes, and that'll get copied and archived into that folder. Okay, great. So now we want to go to the program files.arm directory, and we want to select the Internet Explorer, Windows Defender, and Windows Mail. Right click and click on delete and hit OK. Okay, great, that's deleted. Now we want to go to the Windows directory, so let's back up here, go to the Windows directory and scroll down to Web, right click on that and hit delete and hit OK. And then we want to go to the web folder here and copy the new folder in here and hit yes. Okay, great. Now we want to go to the Windows System 32 directory and go to recovery, right click on that and hit delete, hit OK. Now let's go ahead and find Big Maps, bigmaps.dll, right click on that and hit delete. and hit OK. So now let's go to back to the Windows directory here. Go to syswow64, and inside here there should be a Bing's map.dll right there. Let's go ahead and delete this one. Delete, hit OK. Now let's go to sysarm32. Go back here, sysarm32, and click on Bing Maps. Let's go ahead and delete that. Hit OK. Okay, great. Now let's go to syswow64 again. And inside here, there should be a OneDrive setup. There we go, OneDrive setup. Right click on that. Hit delete, and then hit OK. Let's go to WinSys now. WinSys there. And let's search for arm64.x86 Microsoft Windows. There it is right there. Go ahead and right click. Hit delete, and then hit OK. Okay, then go to Users, Default App Data, Roaming, Microsoft, Windows, Start Menu, Programs, and then OneDrive.link. Right click, and select Delete, and hit OK. Go back to Windows x86, and then click on the Internet Explorer folder, right click, and hit delete, and hit OK. Go to Program Files here, and then click on Internet Explorer, right click, and hit delete, and hit OK. It's always good to double check the list of files, because one of the files we missed was the Edge browser. So going back, reopening our archive, and we go to the Program Files ARM directory, and we want to take the Edge folder and copy it inside there, and then we'll say yes. Okay, once that's done, and we double checked all our files, then we can go ahead and close the archive again. Once we made all the changes to the install.wim file, let's go back to the raw release _2.0 directory and double click on wor.exe. Select yes, and this will launch the Windows on Raspberry imager. Select our language, English, hit next. Select the storage device, which will be the Samsung T7 external SSD. We want to select for Raspberry Pi 4. You get a warning message and just select OK. Hit next. And now we want to select our image, which is in our Win 10. Select that. Hit open. It detects that it's a Windows 10 build. Click on next. Select on use the latest package available on the server. Select accept. Select next. Select use the latest firmware available on the server. Select next. And then go ahead and select next. And then select install. Okay, great. The installation has completed. So let's go ahead and hit the finish button, and let's go ahead and click on the USB and eject the T7. So now this drive has to go into the USB 2.0 instead of the 3.0, because as of this time, the USB 3.0 drivers are not currently working, but the USB 2.0 drivers are. So make sure when you plug in your drive, it goes into the USB 2.0 USB. Start the Raspberry Pi. Press Escape to go into Configuration. Go down to Device Manager. Go down to Raspberry Pi Configuration. Go into Advanced Configuration. Disable Limit RAM to 3 gig. F10. Y to confirm. Escape. Go up to Display Configuration. Enable Virtual 720p. Disable Native Resolution. F10 to save. Y to confirm. Escape. 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 Go down to Continue. Enter. Enter to reset. Rebooting the Raspberry Pi again. Okay, booting up. Getting devices ready. Starting devices. Getting devices ready. Getting ready. Rebooting again. Rebooting again. Just a moment. Now we have some important setup to do. Just a moment. Now let's see what's new in Windows. Just a moment. Okay, enter name. We'll put Orchard Skills. Hit next. Create a super memorable password. Hit next. Confirm your password. Hit next. Just a moment. Hi. We're getting everything ready for you. This might take several minutes. Don't turn off your PC. Or in this case, your Raspberry Pi. Almost there. Okay, we're booted up. Search for .NET. Click on download. Click here to download manually. Downloading the .NET SDK. Open file. Click on install. Yes. Almost there. The installation was successful. Click on close. Click on get download. Go to download. Click on Windows. And download 64-bit Git for Windows setup. Open file. Hit yes. Click on next. Click on next. Enable use TrueType. Click on delay daily for GitHub updates. Hit next. Next. Click next. 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 Select Use Windows Default Console window. Click on Next. Hit Next. Next. And Next. Install. Okay. And click on Finish. Go to google.com. Click on GitHub Desktop. Download. Go to Download. Download for Windows 64. Open file. GitHub Desktop is installing. GitHub Desktop is being installed. It'll launch once it is done. Click on Sign In to GitHub.com. Enter username and password. Click Sign In. Click on Open. Click on Continue. Click on Finish. Click on Raspberry Pi. Click on Clone. Click on X, close. Close that. Go to google.com and search for Visual Studio Code. Click on Download. Click on 64-bit. Click on Open File. Click on Accept the agreement. Hit Next. Hit Next. Hit Next. Click on all of the checkboxes. Hit Next and install. Click on Finish. Exit out of here. Exit out of here. Visual Studio Code is loading up. Click on X to exit this. Click on X to exit the welcome. Click on Extensions. Click on Install C# extension. Exit out. Exit out. CMD. CD Documents. CD GitHub. CD Orchard. CD Orchard Skills at orchardcore.cms. .NET Build. All the NuGet packages were restored. Continuing with the build. Okay, great. The build completed. So let's do a .NET run. Okay, great. Everything's up and running. Bring up a browser. Microsoft Edge. Let's go to localhost 5000. Enter. Okay, great. The Orchard Core setup page is up. Let's select site name. Let's select the blog recipe. Enter our credentials. Password. Confirm password. And click on the Finish Setup button. Okay, great. The Orchard Core blog site is up and running. Let's click on the blog post. There's our blog post. Scroll down. Scroll back up. Go to About. There's our About page. Scroll down. Scroll back up. Let's go into the dashboard. Enter admin. Enter. Enter our username and password. Credentials. Click login. Okay, great. We're in the admin page. Let's go down to content. Content items. Okay, great. There's our content items. Let's go back to the website. There's our website. And there we go. Let's exit out of here. Now, to recap, we installed 7-zip, created a Windows 10 ARM64 image through the site uup.rg-adguard.net, installed Nt Lite, customized the install with Nt Lite from the files from the WAR Discord, used 7-zip to modify the install to customize for the Raspberry Pi 4, use the Windows on Raspberry Imager to image to an SSD, install the image on a Raspberry Pi 4, set up Windows, install Git, GitHub, VS Code, and .NET Core 3.1. We built an Orchard Core web application and ran and set up the Orchard Core web application. And this is all done running Windows 10 ARM64 on a Raspberry Pi 4 using x64 emulation. I think that's pretty slick, wouldn't you agree? Now, if you missed or didn't understand something, that's okay. There's a detailed blog post that describes all the steps. There is also a GitHub repository with the complete source code. All this information is in the video description. If you like this video, please click on the thumbs up icon. Also, please subscribe and click on the bell icon to get a notification when I release the next video. Thank you for watching.